he oversaw government funding when she was at Pratt and Whitney. And I don't know if it was multiple projects, one project, but that's a government contract. And
Pratt and Whitney?
yeah. So basically she was a rocket scientist there. Rocket scientist, excuse me. And she, it's her trademark is available. She co-patented these burn resistant just metal alloys. So she is very smart and she knows a lot. General McCaslin, I mean, talk about, he is more credentialed than pretty much anyone on the planet, I want to say.
It almost made no sense. Like going through his resume, I was like, holy shit.
Insane. And so, you hear more about McCaslin. You hear through his wife. He was experiencing some mental fog, some brain fog, but nothing crazy. He was still with it. That's one of the reasons he wanted to retire. And maybe he was a little frustrated by that, but he had a lot going on. He was consulting, and he was an avid hiker. And I actually heard from some local sources as well that he would always hike in an Apple Watch or wear the Apple Watch. And the day he went missing, they're not really talking about this, but he wasn't wearing his Apple Watch. And that's interesting to me that the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office wouldn't kind of put that out there. That, don't you think like that's kind of important? They're just saying, oh, his cell phone wasn't with him. He didn't wear his glasses. They're leaving out certain pieces of information, but they don't owe us anything, right? I think we have to keep that in mind. Law enforcement, unless we're in imminent danger, they're only going to tell us the basics. And this,
do you think that is some level of incompetence, or do you think that there could be something more sinister there, like they're being told this little sheriff's office, this is way above your pay grade?
I don't think that the FBI, who joined the investigation early on before the White House got involved, by the way, for General McCaslin, I don't think that they're going to tell Bernalillo County anything. And I saw a video clip from another journalist. He's great. He's a Nerdy Addict. He is in the area, and he basically asked a cop. I mean, he was in a squad car, what he thought. And I thought the cop's answer was really irresponsible.
What did he say?
He basically was just like, well, it's kind of fun to think of your theories type of thing. It was just strange. I was like, you're a cop. You can't talk like that. And he said, and I called the sheriff's office yesterday, actually. And I was like, do you guys have an update? You have not put out an update since March. I specifically want to know about the Air Force sweatshirt that was found 1.5 miles east from General McCaslin's home or his neighborhood. They said there was no blood on it. His family and friends couldn't identify if it was his or not. Do we know anything about that? And he just said, we don't know anything. I kept pressing. They wouldn't tell me much of anything. So at this point, General McCaslin and Monica Reza, their disappearances are the strangest to me.
Yeah.
The absolute strangest, because they vanished into thin air. And it's very important, by the way, when you're investigating these cases to go to those locations. I have not done that. So
are you going to do that?
We will see. I would like to. So I've been looking, the Mount Waterman area where Monica Reza disappeared.
Can we pull that up on a map, Keith?
And by the way, where she disappeared, I mean, it is hundreds of thousands of acres. But we know her last coordinates. We know where her hat was last found. And I have spoken to sources that knew her who have searched month after month after month. I mean, they've been searching since June. Nothing. I don't get it. And Neil McCaslin, that area, also very isolated. If you're familiar with the area, it's very easy. I have learned to just sort of slip away into nothingness, and it appears that's what he's done.
But it's the leaving, as you said, it's the leaving stuff behind. Like we now know he took one gun, but no Apple Watch, no phone, no nothing.
Right. And, with the gun, all we know is that it was missing. No one's actually seen him with the gun. There is a still image of Steven Garcia from the KCNSC, also in New Mexico, not a scientist, a nuclear official. Mm-hmm. He is seen walking away with a gun. There is a gun in his hand. With Neil McCaslin, again, on the initial 911 call, his wife was asked if there were any weapons missing. And she's like, I can't really tell just from looking, in the safe. But then after the fact, officials said, there was a .38 revolver missing. She also said he specifically changed his clothes before he left. I
How
don't
did she know? Like, what? How did she describe it?
Well, she basically said, so she was going to a doctor's appointment in the morning. And so she saw him like deliberately change his clothes before she left. And then a repairman came, apparently spoke to him. I mean, from what we know, everything was fine, but I would like to find this repairman. If you're listening,
Come on, repairman.
If you're out there, I said this before. If you are out there, please. I mean, it's really important. I feel like just for profiling. You know, you got to talk to these people. And he just apparently walked out the door, and the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office has asked neighbors, and neighbors, by the way, they're, you know, it's kind of sparse over there, but video footage, anything. And I feel like it might be similar to the Nancy Guthrie case where there is footage, but we just haven't seen it. They're only releasing pieces of it, if anything, because I go back, they don't have to tell us anything. They don't owe us anything.